Hi guys, welcome back. We're gonna have two videos for today's class. First, I'm gonna show you guys some patterns that you're gonna use for factoring. So this should be really easy. It's just difference of squares, difference of two cubes, and sum of two cubes. And then we're gonna use those patterns to actually continue to solve our polynomials without using division and just doing factoring. So we're gonna go ahead and get started. Okay, so we're gonna just go back to these patterns that hopefully you guys should remember. Differences of squares is just, see if I can get my iPad to draw here. There we go. Okay, so difference of two squares is just this a squared minus b squared, and we've been working on this a lot. So if you have two things that are being squared that are being subtracted, hence the word difference, we can factor it into a minus b and a plus b. So examples of this would be like 4x squared minus 25. These are both things that I can take the square root of, so they're things that are being squared. And so I know the square root of 4x squared is 2x. So that's what goes in the front of my parentheses. The square root of 25 is 5, so that goes in the back. And then my signs are just opposite. One's plus and one's minus, okay? So then another example would be maybe something like this, where you see that you can divide by 3 first and write this as 3x squared minus 4. And then I can take the x squared minus 4 and factor that using the differences of squares. So the 3 goes in front, x squared minus 4 becomes x minus 2, x plus 2, and then that would be your complete factor. So hopefully that one's review. And then these are the two that you may have seen before, but we've never done in my class. So we're gonna stop and do this one. So this is the difference of two cubes. So it's very similar to the one above, but it's things that are being cubed, and it's still subtraction because it says the word different. So it's going to be something that looks like this, where it's a cubed minus b cubed. So if you have two things that are being cubed and they're being subtracted, you can factor it into this pattern. So you take the a minus b, so the thing that is being cubed to give you these two patterns goes in your first parenthesis and it becomes a minus b. Then the second parenthesis, a squared plus a times b plus b squared. Okay, so let's do a couple examples just so you guys can see what this does. So let's do like x cubed minus 1. Okay, so these are things that are being cubed. I can take x cubed because I know the a value in that case is really x, and then that's being cubed. And then the 1 is also being cubed because 1 times 1 times 1 is still 1. So now I know that my a is x and that my b is 1 because those are the things that are being cubed to make it look like this pattern. And now I just go and I put them in wherever they belong in this factoring. So it goes a minus b. So this first parenthesis is going to be x minus 1. Then the second thing is a squared, so I'm going to take this x and square it, and that's in the second part of my parenthesis. And then it becomes plus a times b, so x times 1, or 1x. And then the last thing is b squared, so this one would just be plus 1 squared, which ends up just being 1. So this would be x minus 1, x squared plus x plus 1. And that's how it would be fully factored. So this doesn't factor anymore. So when we get into solving, we're going to have to use like quadratic formula or completing the square in order for it to fully be done. But this is your final factor. Okay, so then let's do another one. Let's do like 8x cubed minus 27. So the first thing you have to do is you have to figure out what your a and your b are. So I know that 2 cubed is 8, so I can write this first one as 2x cubed, because if I multiply 2x out 3 times, I get 8x cubed back. And then I know that 3 cubed is 27, so I'm going to write this as 3 cubed. Okay, then we just go through the pattern. So the 2x is my a, and the 3 is my b. So this becomes 2x minus 3. Then this next one's going to be my a squared. So this entire 2x squared. So I'm going to put it in parentheses as 2x squared. And then we're going to add to that our a times our b. So 2x times 3 becomes 6x. And then our last one is plus the b squared, which in this case is 3 squared. And then we're just going to rewrite it. So 2x minus 3, 2x squared becomes 4x squared. And then 6x stays in the middle, and then 3 squared is 9. So then that's going to be fully factored right there. And then again, this is not factorable anymore, even though it looks like it could be, it's not. So if we're going to solve this, we're going to have to take it and solve by using quadratic formula or completing the square. So then that is your final factor. Okay, so then the next one is really, really similar. It's the sum of two cubes. So now we're adding the two cubes instead of subtracting them. So the pattern is going to be different. The only thing, or really similar actually, the only thing that's different is that your signs are going to switch, okay? So sum of two cubes, you have a cubed plus b cubed. So same thing, it's just instead of subtracting right here, we're adding. Okay, so then the factor is a plus b. So if you've noticed, if this is a minus, your first parenthesis should also be a minus. If this is a plus, the first parenthesis should be a plus. And then it goes a squared. Now in this one, this now becomes a minus a times b, and then plus b squared. So notice how similar these are. The only thing that's different is this is a minus and this is a plus, and then this is a plus and this is a minus. So they're really, really similar. You just have to be careful with your positive negatives. Okay, so let's do some examples. So one example would be like x cubed plus 8. Okay, so x cubed, x is going to be our a, and then I know 2 cubed is 8, so then b is going to be 2. So I'm going to just write it like that. And then I just follow the pattern. So x was a, 2 was b, so now I'm just going to plug in a and b everywhere and then simplify. So this is going to be x plus 2. And then this becomes a squared, which in this case is x squared, minus a times b, so this is minus 2x, plus 2 squared. And then we just rewrite. So x plus 2 times x squared minus 2x plus 4. And then that is going to be your final factor for that thing. And then again, you're going to have to take it and solve this last part because that can't be factorable anymore using quadratic formula. Okay, let's do one last example, and that'll be it for this first video. 8x cubed, let's see, oh, that's not what I wanted to do. I already did that one. Let's do 27x cubed plus 125. Okay, so first thing you have to find is your a and your b. So I know 3 cubed is 27, so my a is going to be 3x. And then I know 5 cubed is 125, so the b is 5. All right, then we just follow the pattern. 3 plus 5, or 3x plus 5, times 3x squared minus a times b. So 3x times 5, this becomes 15x, plus 5 squared. Okay, so 3x plus 5, and then this 3x squared becomes 9x squared, minus 15x, plus 25. And then that is going to be your final fully factored answer. Okay, so the next video I'm going to give here in a second is going to use these patterns in order to solve our polynomials. So we're going to step away from division, and we're now going to use these factoring techniques that we just reviewed to help us solve without using division. All right, guys, hope you're doing good. Go to the next video before you do the homework because it's going to show you what to do. All right, goodbye.